Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today we're looking at vsns. He was once on the channel in his ELC, but now he's gone up a few tiers and he's in his premium STA2 Japanese medium tank at tier 8. So, STA2 can be compared most obviously with the STA1, the standard tier 8 Japanese medium tank I've played, and I'm going to say it's pretty much very similar to that. The STA1, when fully upgraded, of course, is much better than this vehicle. This vehicle is kind of a stock, or partially upgraded STA2 with regards to the gun, I believe. Or maybe the gun is even stock. I can't even remember. But regardless, the gun has 185mm penetration, goes straight through the enemy ELC there, foolishly went for a stationary spot in the middle of a desert. Bizarre, but you know, we can't always figure out why people do what they do. Looks for a shot on this Hellcat. Maybe mistakenly tries to lock on with auto aim, but Hellcats, they're quite fast and he didn't aim it very well, so never mind. We've all done shots like that, I'm sure. Well, I certainly have. I don't know about any of you. But gets a good shot into the side of T-44, missing the front upper plate, going deliberately for the side armor, which at that angle will penetrate even with 185 penetration. The STA1's gun, the fully upgraded 90mm, which is the only 90mm, not only 90mm, its top gun is the only vehicle it's used on, so the STA1's grind's a bit annoying, but that has 218mm of penetration with the same average damage of 240. Gets good side shot into the 112, who's angling side on, and the 112 has some decent armor if you angle it properly, i.e. front facing, and hide the lower plate. The lower plate on that vehicle is complete trash. So, he gets the message and finally starts angling his vehicle, but he's not hiding the lower plate because he's on top of the hill and there's no cover for him to do so. So VNS is perfectly showing good marksmanship. Some good marksmanship is what I'm saying. My English is a bit broken for some reason. Auto aims at the front of the SU-152, but realizes it goes for the center of mass, so therefore he disengages auto aim and hits the lower plate. Pulls back in time to reload and hit that Hellcat from earlier. Hellcat pulls back, goes forward, engages the same spot on the SU-152. So 3 shots fired, 3 connections, but only 1 penetration. Those of you who don't really know, the SU-152 has very thick armor, but only where the gun is, the gun shield, the gun mantlet. Everywhere else is a very easy pen, especially for a tier 8 or above vehicle, and most tier 7s can penetrate the front of that vehicle with ease. It's been spotted, so therefore we can tell that he has a good crew, and the mobility of the vehicle is pretty much the same as that of an STA1. It's not quite as good. The terrain modifiers are not as good as that of the STA1. It doesn't have as much power to weight ratio because it has a weaker engine. It has a 500 horsepower engine compared to a 570 horsepower engine. Yes, I did have to look this up on Tanks GG. That T-44 from earlier, well, he's gone. A-44 defending the OI, who's still at base. I think he may be AFK. Never mind. Takes a horrible hit in the side there for 423. We know that's bound to be the charioteer who was last spotted over there. Now, I haven't actually talked about the armor of the vehicle. The armor is basically the same as that of the STA1, apart from the front slope, I believe, is slightly different. The vehicle's profile is slightly different on the STA1. I think this is a slightly higher vehicle. There's that bloody charioteer who hit us for 400. Nice bit of damage on that gun. Blatantly using the 105mm because It also has access to 20-pounder guns, but they only do 230 average damage. Now, for those of you who've been keeping up with the hit log at the top, 2,700 damage done thus far. Quite a nice amount of damage for vsns here in this STA2. 4 enemies remain. We are playing Assault, remember, so we do have to capture the base. Now, in vsns's messed it up again, email, he said that he would like my opinion on what to do differently. Fortunately, just misses the shot there on the IS-6. Bit of an unfortunate RNG. Second shot goes into the cupola. He's firing from above, remember, so if he hits the roof of the IS-6, he will do good damage. The next few shots don't go through, so now he loads the great old 275 penetration on these Japanese heat rounds. Not quite as good as the Soviet heat of 330. Fortunately misses a shot. He returns fire in frustration, goes forward, and that's very nice. Slowed frontal armor, Mr. IS-6, but heat pen, you know, kind of negates that, doesn't it? I understand why V is using it because he wants to win this game, and taking out that I-6 who's managed to hold on with help from artillery is in his way of achieving his aims. He's now up to 3,700 damage. But yeah, in his email he said, is there anything you would have done differently? And we will talk about that very briefly at the end. I don't want to be too harsh, I don't want to say this and this, because I wouldn't have thought of it at the time, and hindsight is a wonderful thing. But we will talk about it, as that's what he requested. Gold Noob STA, very standard, IS-6 player. Let's see, he's played 4,000 games, he's quite new I guess, so oh well. Now, I did say we'll talk about it at the end, but talking to the enemy while you're on 2 minutes 40 seconds, yeah, that's not a good idea. I know it doesn't take too long to write 5 or 8 words or whatever. That shot would never have hit either. But it doesn't help your situation. There's 4 teammates, including yourself, and an IS-3 and Charioteer to deal with. So 4,000 damage you may have done thus far, but hanging around here and typing is not going to help you. Now, there are 2 options you could do. You could go right, all the way to the right, or through the middle, or on the left. Now, it looks like it's just him, the Ramatel, and the artillery, as DOI is still AFK, or has been this entire match. Make that just him and the artillery. Charioteer is on 4% hit points, and that IS-3 we haven't seen. He could be in the town still, or he could have flanked to the right, as we haven't peeked this ridgeline here. That OI wouldn't be able to get here in time anyway, even if he was here, but yeah, as the A44 confirms, it is in fact an AFK tank. And yeah, more typing with 1 minute to go. Considering you have quite good DPM and you still have 600 hit points, I would have gone forward by now. Maybe I sound too harsh, but yeah, typing isn't going to win you anything. Maybe a bit of like morals, I suppose, but nothing in terms of actual gameplay. He decides to move forward now. The Charioteer, invisible until firing, hits him. It's now on 200 hit points, and the IS-3 typically is behind that building. So, 18 seconds left. Artillery and an AFK tank. We all know how this one ends. So, commiserations vsns, you did what you could. in the STA2 using your good DPM, your good gun depression, your use of the map, and for the most part knowing what to do in the early and mid game, but towards the end you were outnumbered and unfortunately luck was not with you. So you asked for some suggestions. I can give you them. They may not be what you think is the right idea, and other people listening, you probably have your own suggestions, so feel free in the comments to say anything that I don't say or that you think I'm wrong, and yeah, just suggest for vsns what he could have done in this situation. But anyway, you did great work over here using this ridge and shooting enemies over to this section as well as that unfortunate 112 where you kept shooting his lower plate and side armor. Later on in the match you moved on to destroying this fella down here, the SU-152. Additionally, you did some good damage on the... Where's he gone? Where is he? Ah, I've lost him. But regardless, the IS-6 you destroyed, or helped destroy rather, quite well. Now, at the end of the game you were basically on your own with an REM, and he was on quite low hit points, and unfortunately he went down to the west here. So the problem you faced was dealing with a full health IS-3, and I believe a third of the hit points were remaining on the charioteer. Now, in the earlier part of the video I said you could have gone to the east, to the middle as you did, or to the west. Now, going to the west probably would have got you killed, as that's where the charioteer was last facing, and you saw the REM went round here and got himself killed. Additionally, you went through the middle, you went through this passage here on the left. Could have taken the right hand passage, but there was more cover, so I understand why you did that. I may well have done that in your shoes. But unfortunately for you, the enemy IS-6 was right around this corner, and there's nothing you really could have done. You were on very low hit points and he just blasted you in the face. Now, the other way you could have gone is to the right here. Now, considering you only had about a minute and a half, well, you had about 2 minutes and a half to do anything, maybe 3 minutes if you weren't typing, then you may well have been able to get to around here. I wouldn't have taken the position that the A44 took, going all the way around the map, as it would have taken you far too long. The sand would have slowed you down. If you got to here, you may have been able to spot the IS-3 before he spotted you, as the IS-3 has terrible view range of 330 or 350 meters view range. I think the STA has 380 meters view range to compare. If you managed to kill him without him noticing you, you may well have disengaged or perhaps moved up to this ridgeline, and the charioteer may well have been around here. That's a suggestion I would have done. Possibly I may well have just gone for the cab, or where you did as well. You possibly could have gone around here, but like I said earlier with the REM, you saw what happened to him. But regardless, thank you for sending it in. If you enjoyed my suggestions, or possibly you could take it as criticisms, I don't mean it as that at all, but there you go really. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and vsns, you did all you could. As I said, 4,000 damage is not a bad result at all for this STA2. Now, we'll just take a look at the rest of your post-game stats. So just doing a roundup of vsns's post-game stats, we can see that he gained 65,000 credits, 1,047 experience, second class mastery, Viper effect, Confederate, and the high caliber for the defeat that we just saw. This is all on a standard account. You can see he would have earned just shy of 100,000 credits with a premium. So this is why people play their tier 8 premium tanks. Like the STA2 and the CDC, things like this. Because of the credits. As well as the crew training, possibly. But mostly for those juicy silver credits. The team score, we can see that vsns came top. Significantly more damage than everyone else on his team. And base experience of 952. Enemy team, we got 2 players here, the M12 and the Charioteer, doing very, very similar amounts of damage, 1 point of damage in between, but 2 kills more for the Charioteer that we saw being a bit of a pain for vsns, as well as other teammates. Detailed report, 26 shots fired, 20 hits and 16 penetrated, so good accuracy. Unfortunately, 4 of those bounced, or just didn't penetrate. Totaling the 4,017 damage, some of which was done from more than 300 meters away using a sniping sort of stance. 4 hits received and all of those penetrated. Unfortunately, the STA2 does not have any good armor. Maybe on the turret if you're lucky. He had a breakdown of credits here, 25,000 on, 26,000 on ammunition. Well, he had to fire 26 shots, so some of those were premium rounds to get rid of the IS-6, which is fair enough. I would have done the same. Even if you're a noob, apparently. I don't care. So, vsns, thank you for sending this in. I hope what I said wasn't too harsh or out of place. I thought maybe you could have spent less time typing and maybe flanking around, but from what I saw you did an exceptionally good job, and sometimes you just can't win them all. Yeah, regardless, like I said earlier on, if you have any tips for vsns, comment down below, or any tips for me or anyone who is interested in these 1 versus 3 or 2 situations. I struggle with them, so it would always be appreciative. As always, I've been Geogen, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.